Good evening, everyone. My name is Brad Beatty, and I want to welcome you here to our third annual Vision Banquet. This year, our theme is Be One Community, and so we're so glad that you joined us tonight. We know that you're going to leave inspired, but most of all, we want you to know that there's a place for you. Tonight will be some great storytelling about the mighty work that God is doing through the lives of people like you and me. In our community, and there's going to be some updates from folks you've heard from in the past, like Joanne and Rebecca, and some new stories of just God's life transforming work and what community looks like. So we want to invite you to be one community. I'll be back with you in just a little bit for closing remarks near the end. So sit tight and enjoy. Thank you.
Hey everyone, thanks again for joining us for our Be One Community event. And special thanks to Chevrolet Center of Winter Haven for making this evening possible. My name is Matt, and I'll help guide you along in this virtual program. For starters, this is our campaign page. Now, you may be watching us on Facebook. If you are, you can click the link in the description at any time to participate on our campaign page. Our goal this year is to raise $200,000 so we can continue our work to transform lives, strengthen families, and alleviate poverty in all its forms. As you can already see, we are already off to a great start, and we want to thank you for that. Our hope is that you will be inspired and encouraged to contribute to your community tonight as you watch the people you will meet and listen to their stories. We all know that we are living through a tough time where the news is primarily bad. Tonight you will hear good news. Good news you can be a part of. Looking at our campaign page, you can contribute here at any time, you can make a one-time donation or pledge to give monthly so your support comes to Heart for Winter Haven throughout the year. When you give, please feel free to leave a message on the page in support of Heart for Winter Haven or leave a challenge for someone to match your gift. We will be able to see the numbers change as we get closer to our goal. I also want to encourage you to reach out to a staff member at Heart for Winter Haven if your heart is moved to participate in any one of the programs you will hear about tonight. We believe building community involves each and every one of us, contributing to the goal of a vibrant and healthy city. And we will be happy to talk to you about any area of interest you have. So let's get started. We begin with our Jobs for Life program. If you aren't familiar with Jobs for Life, watch this.
Imagine a musician who can no longer make music. By losing the ability to do something they were created to do, they lose a piece of themselves. They lose a sense of purpose. We were created and designed by God to work, and our work is one of the core places that we receive our purpose and dignity. But what if you didn't have access to good work? For millions of people in need, this is reality. Many men and women, for many different reasons, can't find employment, are underemployed, or are shut out of jobs. And without employment, there is loss of purpose and dignity, which creates a vicious cycle of poverty, economically, spiritually, and emotionally. Christians have always been engaged in the fight to break this cycle, but the majority of the church's effort and resources for those in need begins with food, then housing, then clothing, and then at the very bottom of the list is work. But without employment and the means to actually provide for themselves and their families, the cycle continues. Which begs the question, what if we flip the list? What would happen if churches and nonprofits were empowered to actually help those in need, find and keep employment, and provide for themselves? The folks at Jobs for Life think this could change the game forever. Jobs for Life equips local churches and other organizations to champion the cause of work for those who need it most. By teaching individuals a biblical understanding of their identity and work, and surrounding them with a community to support them, we can help people experience the hope and transformation they need to find and thrive at work. Imagine churches and nonprofits being centers where the cycle of joblessness is broken, where business owners receive employees who understand the value and purpose of work. Imagine families restored where children grow up with hope and a future. Imagine communities and entire cities renewed because purpose and dignity have been restored. Jobs for Life believes imagination can become reality. Visit jobsforlife.org to join the movement of people teaching others the dignity of work.
Heart for Winter Haven's Jobs for Life continues to be a program that allows us to build relationships that last and keep us connected and in our community for the long haul. Here are some updates from two young ladies you've met before, both graduates of our Jobs for Life program, both continuing to encourage us as they invest back into our community to help so many others. You'll be able to see from their stories how the commitment they made when they started the Heart for Winter Haven Jobs for Life program and the investment that our volunteers made in them has yielded amazing results that continue to keep them involved and thriving in our community. You'll also meet Victoria, another one of our graduates, who has been able to pursue her dreams far beyond our city, and she remains part of our extended community. Let's watch their stories.
My whole life, I kind of felt like I didn't fit in, I didn't belong, and there was an emptiness inside of me, and I kept trying to fill that with drugs, bad relationships, anything. My name is Rebecca Clark, and I'm from Bartow, and I'm part of Heart for Winter Haven. I have been an addict for 25 years. I started doing drugs pretty young. I started with pot at 13, and then I got into heavier stuff. I continued to make bad choices, really struggled. There was like a hole in my heart that I was always trying to fill, and I kept trying to fill it with all the wrong things. I was arrested in December of 2017. I was caught with a pretty significant amount of drugs. So I was facing trafficking and amphetamines charge.
My name is Joanne Torres. I grew up in and out of incarceration. I was a teen mom, a high school dropout, pregnant with my second child. I felt like a failure. I was leaving behind, a toddler and now a newborn that I wasn't going to be able to raise. I didn't have any program, I didn't have anybody to really come home to, but the same environment. Within less than a year, I was back to doing the same old thing that I had did all my life that I had already knew to do, And I remember just crying out to God and telling him that I know that he didn't bring me through all of this, all of the stuff that I had went to be back in the same situation. And I woke up the next day and I was like, this was my chance to get it right.
Well, my name is Victoria Hudson. I had a pretty difficult pregnancy, and so I wasn't able to work. My husband and I had been financially and spiritually in a rut for a long time. He hadn't been able to find meaningful work, and I had been staying at home with my daughter, and we had been living with my parents. My husband and my dad actually decided to go to Jobs for Life with me. And so it became a family affair instead of just me by myself taking that step of faith. I had no idea that they were going to join in with me. And when they did, it was so reaffirming that I was doing the right thing, and to see them casting vision alongside me and see them growing as individuals was just really encouraging.
I think one of the things now that keeps me focused on what I need to do is I had to surround myself with different kind of people. Coming into Jobs for Life, everyone that I met and while I was there is really the reason why that I made it through, because they are the prime example of who Jesus is. And through Jobs for Life, I gained confidence because they believed in me. They didn't look down on me. They were interested in who I was, even all the mistakes that I had made. And they worked with me, and they helped me see that there was a plan and purpose for my life, and Jesus had made that for me.
it wasn't just about like, okay, let's get you in the job market, let's get you, hustled so you can make money. It was about helping the individual find what they were passionate about and what their God-given abilities were. If you were willing to put in the work and if you were willing to actually do some self-reflection, then you found a lot more.
It's not a one-man show. Their whole agenda is to bring churches, nonprofits, and businesses together. I got introduced to Jobs for Life and I took the class, and in the class, there's a man, I love to brag about him, his name is James Arnold. He was telling me that he was a mentor at Polk State College and all these things, and I was like, okay, God, I'm gonna keep pressing forward, keep going to the classes. Well, there was an ad during the class that had popped up on Facebook for Southeastern University, but it was his testimony about working for Polk State that even encouraged me to apply for the job. And the whole time we're praying and God opened the door. Well, I applied for the job and I got the job. And I believe in that moment that like the Lord was telling me, you do what you can in the natural and I'm gonna do what I can in the supernatural. And He did.
It gave us a place to come together and say, okay, let's get down to brass tacks and grow together. And it's gonna be hard work, but we're gonna put in the work and we're going to grow. It works. It really did made a huge change in our lives.
So I think community is important in anything you do, and to have that support that you need.
Wonderful. And thank you, Joanne, Rebecca, and Victoria for sharing such powerful stories with us. As you can see from the lives of our speakers, building community is about time and investment. Good community is intentional and it evolves. It needs commitment and it needs participation. If you know someone that would benefit from Jobs for Life, if you see yourself as a volunteer, or would like to be a host facility for Jobs for Life, please let us know. We need you as our Jobs for Life program continues to grow in our community. Last year at our banquet, we introduced the Scholarship House. This was a parish house donated by Living Word of Faith Church as a home for local college students who found themselves homeless. Imagine being a student, living in your car and trying to go to college. Everyone was excited about what the Scholarship House could provide, and there has been a great community effort to make it possible. We have so many people to thank, especially the Polk County Rotary Club, and the work continues to restore the property. We aren't finished yet. There are lots of great opportunities to get involved. We thought you might like to hear about what your hard work and dollars have been doing at the Scholarship House this year.
My name is Raymond Castro and I'm from Lubbock, Texas. Before I was staying in the Scholarship House, I was living out of my car for about 7 or 8 months. I was in college while being homeless, mostly because Polk State doesn't really have dorms or anything like that. My band director was helping me throughout the semester where I was staying out of my car, trying to find me different resources and stuff where I could go and get food and clothes and stuff like that if I needed it. Living in my car was pretty tough, and so it would get to 30, 40 degrees outside with the only thing keeping me warm being blankets. Right now, the scholarship house has been pretty helpful. Having a roof over my head that allows me to focus on my school and my work, and it gives me a place where I can actually work on my music and progress with my personal degree, as well as just like providing a sense of stability where I didn't previously have that.
The scholarship house started over lunch. One of my board members and my good friend, James, and his pastor, eating and dreaming together about this building that they had that was in such need of repair. But in telling them about some of the needs that we were seeing in the community, especially this issue of homelessness with college students, my heart was moved, their hearts were moved to do something about it. And so out of a real act of generosity, Pastor Harden, the pastor there, said, hey, Brad, what if you had this house? Could you use this house to do something about this problem? And so that began a journey to build a place where young men who, through life circumstances, find themselves both trying to grow in their lives by getting a college education, but not having a home to do that. And so with just this simple act of generosity on part of the church and the follow-up of the massive amount of generosity on the part of our community, we've created this space for guys to lay their head and study and make their way forward.
Hi, my name is James Arnold. I'm the executive business pastor at Living Word of Faith Church. The Scholarship House is about helping those that are particularly homeless students. They may be studying at post-state college and they don't have consistent living conditions. So, the Scholarship House was established to accommodate them and providing a shelter, a place that they could study, a place that they could stay, and still at the same time, go about doing their work perspectives, their school perspectives, and it has been a great success, in helping those students that are homeless.
My name is Dexter Thomas. I'm the house manager here at the Scholarship House. When you're trying to do the right thing and your basic needs aren't being met, sometimes it can lead you down the wrong ways. I feel that if you're able to and you see a problem, you're responsible for helping to at least ease those problems in the community if you're looking for a better world. The benefit of the Scholarship House is making sure that the students are able to focus on their education and not have to worry about a roof over their head or food. Me personally, I would like to see a scholarship house grow into multiple scholarship houses, because there's a lot of kids around the Polk County area that are homeless, that are trying to do the right thing, just don't have the basic means to do that. So if we were able to cultivate the type of environment to teach one, maybe that one will go out and teach two, and it'll spread like wildfire.
How do we build community? Why do we need it? Is community worth the effort? In this difficult year of 2020, Jennifer Cohen, a Heart for Winter Haven staff member that most of you know, says community isn't canceled. From everything we have seen tonight, and from every effort that is made by Heart for Winter Haven, especially during challenging times, the message is community continues. Heart for Winter Haven continues to work to build community, and we are going to ask you to invest in that effort tonight. Do you see that fundraiser button on the screen? That is there for you to use as you raise funds from your friends and family tonight. All you have to do is click that button, follow the prompts, give your first gift, and then boom, your name is in the link. Now you can share or email that on Facebook. You can also simply share it straight from the page onto social media or email. Ask for everyone to match your gift. Now, whenever someone donates from your page, it will be credited to you and it will get us closer to our $200,000 goal. We'll show you the directions again at the end of the night, but you can also start at any time. Also, at the end of the night, there will be a drawing. Did I mention that? Stay tuned. We have some thoughts coming up from Brad Beatty, the Executive Director of Heart for Winter Haven. But first, I think many of you are waiting to hear about our housing partnership with the City of Winter Haven and what has happened this year since we began the initiative to help the homeless families of our elementary school kids.
My name is B. Gallison. I'm the program coordinator for Heart for Winter Haven for the housing partnership. So the housing partnership, the city identified there was a need for homeless children that was inside of the Winter Haven community. We were funded the opportunity to be able to work alongside of them and work alongside of the families. Also the Hearth program that is part of the public school system in identifying families that are homeless inside Winter Haven public school system. There's just a lot that we've noticed that families never had the opportunity to be exposed to, or they never had the people to help them find them and how to utilize them. Our partnership with the City of Winter Haven allowed us to start working with preventing families from actually becoming homeless by providing them with eviction prevention. So if we identified a family that was in need or facing eviction, to help them catch up the money that was owed to the renter, on top of starting to build a relationship and create a community with them with Heart for Winter Haven. That allowed us the opportunity later on when COVID started, which we was unexpected in March, to apply for different grant funding, which would also not only benefit the students inside of the Winter Haven school system, but in the community with itself. We were able to help a lot of Winter Haven families, but not only Winter Haven, but surrounding areas as well. And without us having stabilized the housing partnership and that had began to develop, we wouldn't have been able to apply for those funding opportunities to create that within the community that we have here. We had a family that came with us, which is one of the first families we were able to help. It was a family of 5, and one of the children had a brain tumor. So the mother, which had always worked and stuff, she became where she wasn't able to go into work because of the surgery, the doctor's appointments, and things like that. And she was facing eviction with her housing, and it was right after Christmas time, actually. The baby was getting ready to have surgery, and we were able to step in and help not only pay up the rent that was owed, but pay forward an additional month for her because the surgery was coming up and we knew she wouldn't still be able to work. It made me feel glad that we could assist her, but not only that, but to help alleviate the stress. A lot of times we look at a monetary sense, but we was able to alleviate that, but be giving the mom a peace of mind that she knew when her child had her surgery, she was coming home to her house where she's familiar. That was giving her the opportunity to be in a structured environment and safe that her child was comfortable in. That was really what was more fulfilling than actually being able to financially provide that, is knowing that that family were able to stay stabilized where they was at in their own environment and not have all the extra stresses of the financial need burdening them.
This is part of the good news that I mentioned at the beginning of the evening. Everyone is so thankful that this funding was available and able to be distributed right here at home during such a tough time. And on that note of thanks for God's provision and confidence in the hope of His continued providence, here's Brad.
It's been an upside down world for us in 2020. In hindsight now has just brought great clarity to us. So what's been remarkable about that is even though we had to stop what we were doing, we were able to be one of the first places in the country to offer a virtual Jobs for Life class. The first thing we really became well known for, and you've heard those stories, the Jobs for Life program, and it's a national program, but it was the first one that resonated because it brings together churches and nonprofits and people in need and people who want to serve, and does it in that faith context that leads people towards, looking at those things that have been holding them back, allowing God to, in the Word of God, to really transform who they are and get them thinking about that. our housing partnership, we were continuing to help people, but what was really great about it, and the thing that I can see more clearly now, is that it positioned us and readied us to be a part of the Polk CARES money that came down. And so when they asked nonprofits to connect with people who either couldn't get online or maybe marginalized groups who didn't speak the language, we were ready, and God sent us just exactly what we needed. So from the very beginning at Heart for Winter Haven, since I'm a clinical social worker, I've been in the mental health field, we've made that a part of what we offer the community. And so we've been able to offer that both to all the nonprofits and the churches, to be just a trusted source for people, to have that, emotional, psychological, and spiritual support. So Women's Resource Center has been a partner for many years with us, providing hundreds, if not thousands of hours of free counseling to the community, to the women and men that can't access it because they don't have health insurance and they don't have a way to get that through Medicaid, that kind of thing. Last year, we began a program with a local business, Center State Bank, but they, being a business, recognized the value in it, and we started a income generating activity for us as a ministry to provide that, what we call an employee care program. And that's been a great way to provide whatever support is needed by going into their business, getting to know the folks. They have a big operations center here, over 300 employees, getting to know them, build a relationship and build trust, so that if they had need for something like that, or if somebody in their family had needs, we could be there. We are currently in the process of developing a proposal for a more robust offering to the community. And we're calling it the Center for Wellbeing here in Winter Haven. And we have additional counselors that we've brought on and interns, so that we can continue to provide that emotional support, that psychological support, and really break this cycle of isolation. This was a problem before COVID. It's a crisis now, and people are very fearful, and understandably. We can do that both through teletherapy, or we have the space to do it from a safe distance, because it's loneliness and disconnection that is so destructive in people's minds. I really believe that the church and that Christians are uniquely qualified to be a friend to the friendless. People ask themselves those important questions about community and what it means to be one community. We hope that tonight you can reflect on that. Why am I here? I think that's another important question. Like, why am I right here in Winter Haven? We are here for a purpose, and having a heart for Winter Haven just means having a heart for the city where God intentionally put you. We believe that not only did He intentionally put us here, He intentionally put all of us here. And He knew exactly what He was doing to put us here at this time and in this place. And so we believe that if you're listening to this tonight, this is an invitation for you. It's an invitation for you to become a part of that, to find out how you fit, to ask yourself those important questions. Why am I here? Why do I have what I have? What gets me up in the morning? Is it bringing me real purpose? If it's through your work, I'd say yes. But when that stirring happens, we believe that that's an invitation by God to join Him in that. And so we want to extend that to you. If whatever one of these programs, or if it's in something else in the community, all of our nonprofit community it only works by having the support of the community. And it's going to take change. It's going to take adapting our way of thinking and some sacrifice. But again, we know that if it's God's will, He will accomplish it one way or another, but He desires to use us, and we find such great pleasure when we are doing the thing that we were created to do. If you've connected with us tonight and it stirred something in you that is unsettling or interesting or exciting, we just want to invite you to come and join us.
Hey everyone, one last time tonight, thank you so much for being a part of this. Thank you so much for your help and your contributions to Heart for Winter Haven. The time and effort that gets put into this is absolutely amazing. One more time, we would ask you, if you have it in your heart, please donate as much as you possibly can, so that way this money can go back into the community to help those who need it. You've heard the stories tonight of where these funds go. There's no hidden secrets, there's nothing here. It is literally just people doing the good thing. So, if you wouldn't mind, please click that button one more time if you have it in your heart to give more. And now, the time that many of you have been waiting for, the drawing. Ticket number 2464330. That is 2464330. Congratulations. That's it for me, and now a word from Brad.
Thank you for joining us tonight. We are so honored by your presence and by being able to just share some of what God has been doing in our city and the programs that we offer at Heart for Winter Haven. I hope that tonight was inspiring. I hope that you are encouraged and feel more connected to the work that he's doing through Heart for Winter Haven. Most of all, we really hope that you can see yourself as one of those ordinary people that God uses to do extraordinary things in and through the lives of people around us. So thank you, and we want to hear from you. We want to be a part of your journey as we journey along together as one community and be one community. We hope that you will find a part of this. We're going to make the stories available to you in individual segments that you are willing to share with others too, so that we can spread the message and create a movement of his people in the city. We are so privileged that you took your time to be with us tonight. Thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing you soon.